For decades, Volkswagen was one of the biggest success stories in the global automobile industry. The German automaker built a reputation for producing reliable, high-quality gasoline cars, and eventually became one of the most valuable car manufacturers in the world. Nowhere was its success more remarkable than in China. For years, Volkswagen dominated the world's largest car market, and its joint ventures in China generated more than half of the company's global profits. It seemed almost impossible to imagine a future where Volkswagen would struggle in a country it had helped motorize. Today, that future has arrived. Volkswagen recently announced plans to significantly reduce its annual production targets, close factories in Europe, and eliminate as many as 100,000 jobs by the end of the decade. Even more alarming is that the company is no longer losing only in China. Chinese automakers are now expanding rapidly across Europe, Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East, challenging brands that once seemed untouchable. So how did one of the world's greatest car companies fall so far behind? The answer begins almost 20 years ago. As China's government encouraged its automobile industry to invest heavily in electric vehicles, Volkswagen remained skeptical. Like many traditional manufacturers, the company believed consumers would continue buying gasoline-powered cars for many years. Instead of designing an entirely new generation of electric vehicles, Volkswagen focused on improving the technology it already knew best, the internal combustion engine. Chinese automakers made a very different decision. Companies like BYD, Geely, and later Xiaomi invested aggressively in electric vehicles long before demand fully arrived. They benefited from strong government support, generous subsidies, low-interest financing, and a national strategy aimed at making China the global leader in electric transportation. While Volkswagen waited for consumers to embrace electric cars, Chinese manufacturers were preparing for a future they believed was inevitable. Then came the turning point. When Tesla dramatically expanded production in China in 2020, electric vehicles quickly moved from being a niche product to becoming the mainstream choice for millions of buyers. Consumer preferences shifted far faster than many traditional automakers had expected. Today, more than 3 out of every 5 new vehicles sold in China are either fully electric or plug-in hybrids. Meanwhile, sales of traditional gasoline-powered cars continue to decline every year. Volkswagen found itself competing in a market that was disappearing. Ironically, the company has slightly increased its share of China's gasoline-powered car market, but that achievement means very little when the overall market is shrinking so rapidly. It is similar to becoming the world's leading DVD manufacturer just as everyone switches to streaming services. You may dominate the old market, but the future belongs somewhere else. The challenge does not end with electric drivetrains. Modern cars have become software platforms on wheels. Buyers increasingly value large digital displays, smartphone integration, intelligent voice assistants, over-the-air software updates, and advanced driver assistance systems just as much as engine performance. Chinese manufacturers recognized this trend early and designed vehicles that feel more like smartphones than traditional automobiles. Volkswagen, on the other hand, continued emphasizing engineering precision, driving dynamics, and build quality. Qualities that remain important but no longer dominate purchasing decisions, particularly among younger buyers. Chinese automakers also benefited from another powerful advantage: cost. Massive government support, inexpensive financing, large-scale battery production, and an enormous domestic market allowed companies like BYD to produce advanced electric vehicles at prices many foreign competitors struggled to match. As China's domestic market slowed because of a weak housing sector and softer consumer spending, manufacturers increasingly looked overseas, flooding international markets with affordable electric vehicles. The numbers are remarkable. China exported around 1 million cars in 2020. Last year, that figure reached approximately 8 million, and this year exports are expected to approach 12 million vehicles, more than the entire annual car market of the European Union. Brands that were almost unknown outside China only a few years ago are now competing directly with Volkswagen in markets where the German company had spent decades building its reputation. Volkswagen is not standing still. The company has invested billions of dollars in developing a completely new generation of electric vehicles. It has opened a major engineering and research center in Hefei, China, employing thousands of engineers to design vehicles specifically for Chinese consumers while incorporating local innovations into future global models. This year alone, Volkswagen plans to launch 20 new smart and electrified vehicles as part of its largest product offensive ever. The problem is that timing matters. By the time many of Volkswagen's newest electric models reached Chinese showrooms, millions of households had already purchased electric vehicles, helped by years of generous government subsidies. Entering the market with competitive products is no longer enough when competitors have already built customer loyalty, manufacturing scale, and technological leadership. Volkswagen's story offers a lesson that extends far beyond the automobile industry. The company did not fail because it stopped innovating. It continued building some of the world's finest gasoline-powered vehicles. The problem was that it kept improving a technology just as the world was moving toward something entirely different. History shows that great companies rarely disappear because they become bad at what they do. More often, they become exceptionally good at something the market no longer values. That may ultimately become Volkswagen's biggest mistake. It mastered the gasoline engine at precisely the moment the world decided to leave it behind.